Today we have our speaker from the UK. His name is Dr. Sunil Kariyakarawana. Okay, I know it's a mouthful for many, but let's just call him Dr. Sunil. It's much easier. I got to know Dr. Sunil during the COVID, and when we were doing our online broadcast twice a week during the COVID, Dr. Sunil was very gracious to come on, and he helped us in many of the weeks giving talks from the UK. Even though he's very busy, he works for the UK Ministry of Defence. That's his role. He's actually the chaplain. I'll read his profile. We will find out who he is. He's a very erudite scholar. He's very learned as a Buddhist, even though he works in the army or works for the military services in the UK. So let's read his profile. It's pretty long. Dr. Sunil was born in Sri Lanka. He obtained his BA Honours First Class degree in Linguistics, Literature and Philosophy from the University of Kelaniya. In 1985, he won a Commonwealth Postgraduate Scholarship offered by the Commonwealth Association of Canada and completed his Masters in Theoretical Linguistics at the University of Ottawa. In 1987, he was offered a teaching assistantship at Cornell University in New York, and then obtained his PhD in Theoretical Linguistics and Cognitive Studies in 1982. In the same year, he was offered a senior lecturer's position at the University of Kelaniya, where he worked till the year 2000. Then in April 2000, he won 2 international postdoctoral fellowships. One to take up research in child language acquisitions at the Rikyo University in Tokyo, and the other, the Association of Commonwealth Universities in the UK, to take up research in clinical linguistics at the University College in London. Having completed both research projects, he joined in 2002, he joined the Department of Languages and Communication at the Languages and Communication Science at the City University of London, teaching clinical linguistics to BSc students. In the same year, he migrated to the UK under the Highly Skilled Migrant Program. Throughout his academic career, he has spent time studying and practicing Buddhist meditation. Dr. Sunil has been offering meditation to professionals in the government departments in the UK, including the NHS, which was very critical during the COVID, and also the Home Office. Now, at the Saddha Tissa International Center for Buddhist Studies at Kingsbury, affiliated to the Pali and Buddhist University of Sri Lanka, he taught diploma courses in Buddhism. In London Buddhist temples and other faith centers, he has been lecturing and teaching techniques of meditation and mindfulness to help the UK community in their mental health and general well-being. Dr. Sunil is currently the Buddhist advisor at St. Michael's College in Cardiff, of the Cardiff University, and the director of the Kalyana Mitra Buddhist Chaplaincy Support Group. He is currently holding the distinction of being the first Buddhist chaplain to His Majesty's British Armed Forces. He has held this post for the last 16 years, and has been working with the MOD, Ministry of Defence, providing spiritual and pastoral care to Buddhist personnel across all 3 British Armed Forces, their families, and their dependents. He's also been part of the recruitment of the Buddhist religious teachers in Nepal, and presently is mentoring RTs, Buddhist religious teachers, for the Brigade of Gurkhas in Nepal. Is this in Nepal? Yeah. So Dr. Sunil is also a spiritual advisor to the Tri-Services Defence Buddhist Network and the Defence Mindfulness Steering Group headed by Lieutenant General Robert McGowan. His personal and professional interest in providing help and support to the community in the areas of mental health and well-being through mindfulness meditation. He is also an executive member of the International Buddhist Confederation, IBC, established by the Asoka Mission of India, and is the Executive Governing Council member representing the UK. So that's a very long CV. 10 minutes gone.
I should have sent you the full CV with 22 pages.
Then we'll go back at 9:30. So, without much ado, even though you just heard me say what he was doing all this while in the UK, but I think he's really a Buddhist scholar at heart. In the next few days, he'll be here for about a month, I think, till end of March. He'll be here. So when you hear him speak, you'll know what I mean. So please, let's welcome Dr. Sunil to start this evening's Dhamma sharing on how should one navigate Buddhist teachings. Dr. Sunil? Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. Leslie has been very kind to invite me to come to Buddhist Maha Vihara. For many years he has been poking my ribs, many times. So when are you going to come, Dr. Sunil, and so on. But, I have been very busy just going around. I look after about 6,000 serving Buddhists in the British Armed Forces. And to make matters worse, I teach in 2 different universities, and I think it's too much work. I should be retiring soon. So when I retire, perhaps maybe Buddhist Mahavihara might offer me a job. So once again, really lovely to see you all. So this evening, what I really would like to do is just basically what has been crossing my mind for 45 years. I don't look that old, do I? Yeah? So for 45 years, I was a Buddhist monk for 18 years. I studied Pali, Sanskrit, and Greek, Latin. I was very interested in classical languages, primarily because it's through the language that we really miss a lot of messages. Yeah? So a translator is known as a traitor. When you translate any text, whether it's Bible or Quran or anything, you miss and you lose the meaning. And this is why for many years I actually studied Pali very thoroughly, just to get to the actually crucial part of the Buddha's message. So before I actually start, let me just go around and ask you a question. Yeah? Now, when I put this question, how should we navigate the Buddhist teaching? What does that really mean? Does that mean anything to you? Yeah? How should we navigate? What does that mean? Yeah, the direction in taking, because it's the human life is so precious. The Buddha said, remember, you have won 4 lotteries, all the same, at the same time. 4 lotteries. You are lottery winners. What are the 4 lotteries you have won? Kiccho manussa patilabo. You've been born as a human. Yeah? Do we remember that? Yeah? We are human beings. And kichang machana jivitang, the life, or actually we are living as quality humans as well, because unfortunately there are so many humans who may not have the same privilege to see, hear, blah, blah, blah. We have all our sense faculties working. Isn't that a lottery? That's a big lottery, yeah? And the third, kichang saddhamma savana. It's very rare to hear the Buddha's message, and let alone, I emphasize the true message. Yeah? Kicho Buddhanang Upado. The Buddha's dispensation, when the Buddha's message is actually available freely, that's very rare. Yeah? So, what do you do with this, 4 lottery monies that you have? You're carrying your bags, yeah? Keeping all the money. But sadly, we tend to live without even knowing that we were that rich. Yeah? Isn't that really sad? Very sad. Yeah? And this is why I spend entire my life just harping. Sometimes I read one sutta for over 100 times. Yeah? And I asked the Bhikkhu Bodhi, he has translated the canon, some of the translations. The Buddha says, Rupang netang mama. The form, not mine. Yeah? That is how it is translated. Rupang netang mama. But in English you can't say that. English language is made Descartes, Cartesian, way. The form is not mine. That's how it is translated. Okay? Rupang netang mama, which is completely wrong. Why? The Buddha does not make 2 sentences there, just one. But in English, it says, form is, but that form is not mine. Do you get me? So, now see, this is the real problem in translating the text. If you really do not know Pali properly, you miss the message. Okay, so the sutras they are full of this. Most of these translations. I mean, you can't blame the translators, because the language is actually, it's a human what is it called? Endowment. Human endowment. So human beings actually made the language just to describe things as they see, as they hear, all these perceptions, right? But the Buddha questions, the Buddha's real question is, is this really real? Okay? So, before we get into the depth, I would like to really ask a very simple question, okay? Let me write it down. There is a root in Sanskrit. Sanskrit Pali, Bodhane, Buddh. How many of you know the meaning of the word Buddh? We are Buddhist. So, when I go to my soldiers, they want to know in very simple language, what is Buddhism? I say, if you do not know the real meaning of this root, this root, then you don't know anything about Buddhism. Okay? So Buddh, Buddh. So let's actually reflect on it. What is Buddh? Yes? That is the Buddha, the one who attained enlightenment. I mean, this is how we paraphrase it. Yeah, but Buddha. So when the Buddha went to Kapilavatthu to visit his father, yeah, what happened? He was actually begging in the Kapilavatthu. When the lunchtime came, he had no option. He said, King Suddhodana ran to the Buddha and said, "What are you doing here? You come to my kingdom, my home, and you are begging." So the Buddha said, what did he say? He said, "O king, this is the tradition. This is my tradition. So, is it the tradition of the Shakyans? There are no Shakyans who actually beg. Why are you humiliating us?" So the Buddha said, "That is, O king, that is your tradition. My tradition is very different. Yeah? I am coming from this lineage of the Buddhas. Buddha. Yeah? And a Brahmin called Brahmayu came to the Buddha and asked him, "Who are you? Yeah? Are you a god?" He said, "No." "Who are you? Are you a Brahma? Are you a creator? Are you this? Are you that? Messenger? Yeah? Even he asked, "Are you a demigod? Asura?" So he said, "No, none of that. Remember me as the Buddha." Yeah? So what is the real meaning of Buddha? Have you thought about it? The awakened one. Very good. Excellent. So that's a very good description. Yeah? Literally this root means to know, to understand, to be aware, and to be awake. Waking up. Waking up is a real possibility. Yeah? Why? Because a whole life could be lived without waking up. Yeah, sleepwalking. Yeah? We could be just not wake up. So the Buddha said, "I want you to wake up." Just imagine yourself in a dream. Yeah? So the dream was so good, really wonderful dream. Like I come to the Buddhist Maha Vihara, and this is a nice dream. Yeah? Yeah? Good friends and good people, good facilities. So just imagine, do you want to wake up? That's a choice. That's a choice. You have to choose to wake up. So, the Buddha said, until and unless I truly wake up, I do not accept that as the final goal. Yeah? So he went from teacher to teacher. Remember? 6 years he went to so many teachers, the Alar Kalamas, the Uddakaramas, the Bhargava, all of these. They taught him brilliant meditation, jhanic absorptions. Fantastic. Yeah? How much, how much do you like about the jhanas? Do you practice jhanas? They are great. They are amazing. I was in America, in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, with Goenkaji, yeah, in a 10-day retreat. You could just simply attain jhanas very easily. Because, if you meditate 9-10 hours a day, you could just attain jhanas, complete absorption. So after 10 days, you just sort of feel like you're walking in the clouds. You know, it's so good, fantastic. Yeah? So, and then you keep on going again and again and again, and you lose the jhanas. Yeah? Because you are too attached to them. Okay? Attachment. Okay? So the Buddha said, no, I don't accept this as final goal. So in the Arya Pariyesana Sutta, the Buddha said, Analankaritva nibbijja apakkami, without venerating, without praising it, I just simply left. Yeah? He didn't want to get absorbed in the highest forms of jhanas. So that's the end part of samatha. Okay? So he wasn't content. He just left. So the Arya Pariyesana Sutta very clearly states that he was not complacent. He was not accepting, oh, this is the final goal, I'm happy. Some of these teachers invited him. He said, why don't you just stay with us and, be part of our team and teach meditation? Everything will be hunky-dory, really beautiful, great. Let's do it. So he said, no, thank you. He left. Yeah? So, Arya Pariyesana Sutta, that's a really great sutta, which actually tells you how he navigated the journey. And this is where he actually helped us. He said, look, I'm telling you my journey so that you could navigate your path the same way as I did. But don't get hung up on the way. Do not be fooled by these, little, beautiful jhanic experiences, this and that. So I'm not actually kind of denouncing, trying to sort of underestimate the jhana. Yeah, that's really great experience. I have personally experienced myself, and I, love it. But that is not the be-all and end-all of it. So the word Buddha is much more deeper than that. Yeah? So in the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha actually talks about the 2 levels of mindfulness. Okay? And we will be, hopefully, if we have more time, Leslie has been, trying to kind of get my head scratch on these different topics, but so I will come to those later on. But the navigating the Buddhist path is an intricate job. It's a difficult journey. You have to do it really carefully, else you get fooled. Okay? Okay, one time a person asked the Buddha, can you really summarize your whole journey into few sentences? So what did he say? What did he say? And actually, it reminds me of a conversation that the Achang Sumedo, abbot of the Amaravati in Hemel Hempstead in UK, he was interviewed by the BBC because it was this fashionable, American posh monk, coming from Thailand and as the abbot, and he said. The journalist came and, can you really summarize Buddhism into one sentence? One sentence. So the journalists always do this. And they said, no, I don't need even one sentence. He said, one word is enough. That was the word that lady said. Wake up. waking up. Yeah? Wake up. Awake. So, and that is what really Buddha means. We should prepare ourselves to wake up. Yeah? Wake up from what? From this drowsy, sleepy state that we are in. Okay? So, what was the actually 3 sentences the Buddha described his whole sasana? Do you remember? I actually teach only 3 things. I mean, the Buddhism is like a shopping list, 3 of these, 3 of all these. So he said 3 things. Sabba papas akaranang. Yeah? So refraining from or staying away from all evil things, bad things. Yeah? Kusalassa upasampada. Yeah? Doing every good. But kusala is a very special word. The word kusala is not found in any other religion. Do not actually mistake this or conflate this with punya. Punya and kusala are 2 different things. Yeah? Kusalassa upasampada. Yeah? So I actually get you into a higher elevated position of kusala. Yeah? And the third one is even more complicated. Sachitta pariyodapanam. Yeah? Etang buddhana sasana. I teach these 3. Sabba pavasakarana. Just try to stay away from every evil thing. That is not because just those people who stay away from bad things go to nirvana. No. Yeah? So kusalassa upasampada, that second level is important. You really need to understand the kusala. Yeah? And sachitta pariyodapanam. That's hard to translate. It's a whole gamut of meanings, lot of senses. Sa means actually swa. Swa means your, one's. Chitta, mind. Yeah? Pariyodapanam. Pari means, all round, guard, protect, clean, clear, and elevate. I mean, a lot of meanings in it. I mean, this is the problem with Pali. You can't actually translate into one English word. No. So, sachitta pariyodapanam. Yeah? Now, that's a big job. So, anyway, am I scaring you? I should. I know. I should. So, actually, it is so fascinating. How one should really get to the bottom of it. So, my quest, was I just really wanted to find what really happened to this man who, tortured his body for 6 years and then tried this, tried that, and, ultimately he was an utter, complete failure, wasn't he? He was a failure, right? Have you seen a movie called the Buddha by somebody called Richard Grundy or somebody? Yeah, you should see it. Actually, it's on YouTube. And one professor says something really, really nice, profound. He says, he or she, I can't remember, says the Buddha actually didn't have an answer to his question even at that point. But he knew the question well enough. He didn't know the answer, but he knew the question well enough. Right? So, this was him. Yeah? So, this enlightenment, this is kind of misused word, what enlightened one. What does that really mean? And he explained that in the Pali Canon, in 3 different stanzas. Beautiful. Yeah? It says, Yada have patu bhavanti dhamma atapino jayato brahmanas athassa kankha vapayanti sabba yato vijanati sahetu dhamma. Now, again, to translate this would be very difficult. I won't even attempt, okay? So, sahetu dhamma. Sahetu dhamma. Does anybody know what that means? Sahetu dhamma? Yes, it's the paticca samuppada, the deepest part of the Buddha's teaching. That's it. That was his realization. Yeah? Sahetu dhamma. And then he actually says the same stanza with different versions, right? So he just blurred that out. Said, wow, I didn't have a clue that I was going to get there, but I got there finally. Right? Just came to him. So, what do you think? I mean, how do we navigate this path then? How do we follow? I mean, mind you, after attainment, what did he think? He was thinking for himself, there is no point in even, talking about this. I'm not going to talk about this. I better stay shut up, I won't, because it's too complicated, too deep, yeah? Patisotagaming nipunang gambhirang duddasang anum. So in 5 words he described Patisotagaming. It's just actually going against the stream. Patisotagaming. Nipunang. Really, really, razor sharp. Patisotagaming nipunang. Gambhirang. Deep. Duddasang. Hard to see. Very, not easy to see, yeah? Anung. Anung's very subtle. Yeah? Ragarata nadakenti tamo khande navata. So he described it in a very systematic way. But have you heard this story that when he went to the Anoma river after eating his milk rice, so he threw the ball in the water. What happened to the ball? Upstream. Have you seen any ball going upstream? Maybe in Malaysia. I've never seen it in Sri Lanka. So, what exactly happened? What is your kind of,
Perception to concept?
Yes, his mind actually went in the exact different direction. It was not, it was whatever he sees outside. I mean, whatever we see outside, this whole world is there for us because we are aware. Okay? The moment we are not aware of this world vanishes. Okay? So, this sensory experience that we are in, yeah? Ditta, Sutta, Muta, Vinyasa. Yeah, do we have any experience beyond this? So, all our experience boils down to these 4 areas, 6 senses. Ditta, something that we have seen. Sutta, something that we hear. Mutta, something we either taste, touch, or feel. Vinyata, and all of that is actually come in the realm of the vijnana, yeah, the cognition, yeah, consciousness or cognition. Okay, so this whole world really exists for us because of this sensory faculty, sensory experience. Okay, what if I just breathe my last breath here? Leslie says, "Oh, please, Dr. Sunil, don't do that." Okay, yeah. So it will be too much hassle for us to organize all of that. So, but when they say, "Oh, Dr. Sunil, he came here," yeah, and then this. But if I actually just happen to be born as a deva and come and see, can I claim this body as mine? No, there is no identity. No identity of any sort. Yeah? Now see how pathetic, this human cognition is. We're sort of completely convoluted, completely. We have no clue. The Buddha says, Mayupa mancha vijnana. This vijnana is a magician. Yeah? So which magician tells you the truth? You have to get hold of the bugger and say, stop that. Tell us what you're doing. So magic all disappears the moment we actually see the real magic. Yeah? So navigate. Okay. Now I'm not actually trying to confuse you. I know. Some of you may be, this guy. I think he's PhD means permanent head damage. Yeah, maybe he's damaged too much. After Cornell, it's a big place. Yeah. So I'm not. Yeah. So the Buddhist path. The first realization for you, and yato vijanati sahed atassa kankha vapayanti sabba. There shouldn't be any doubt in your mind about the teaching. The first thing that disappears when you come to realize is what? Your doubt. You're not doubting it anymore. Yeah? So when your doubt disappears, can the realization and doubt coexist? No. So the doubt has to be eliminated. Just disappears. Atassa kankha vapayanti sabba yato vijanati sahetu dhamma. So his doubt disappeared. Yeah? In the first step in the Buddhist path is you shouldn't have any doubt about it. Yeah? Now let's actually check how many of you have kind of gotten rid of the doubt. Okay? How many of you know exactly where you will end up after you die? You have no clue, right? Okay. in a hole. So the Buddhist Maha Vihara probably will, transfer merits to you to get you elevated. So we rely on Leslie for our, So please, Leslie, So if you really do not know where you end up, then you will still have a doubt. A Buddhist cannot have a doubt. Okay? If you are doubting your journey, you are yet to accomplish both. Okay? So, Sakaya Ditti, Vichikicca, and Sila Bhatta Parama. And there is no wrong Shilas. You really do not adhere to these, rituals just for ritual's sake. But offering flowers and offering Buddha Puja, they are not rituals. They're very meaningful acts. Okay, they're not. In Buddhism, there are no rituals. If you just say the Buddhist rituals, that's a misnomer. Okay, you can't say that. Buddhism does not have any rituals. So they are meaningful acts, with complete and full conviction. Okay, so the first thing is that the doubt is gone, and then no rituals, and then comes the big sun or the moon. What is it? So for somebody who has actually attained the Buddha level, get rid of 3 fetters. Out of the 10 fetters, the Sangyojanas, the fetters. Out of those, the 3 fetters disappear with the first step, Sotapanna, the stream enterer. So, what's that crucial fetter that you break away from? Yes, the personality, not the non-self. It's actually the atta that is still there, but the personality view, Sakaya Ditti, personality view, this idea of I, me, my, mine, that is personality view. Okay, let's actually flip the conversation. How many of you have seen a car? Have you seen a car? You've seen a car, yeah? My God, that's amazing. So, the Buddha says, Yatahi anga sambhara hoti saddo ratho iti. Yeah? Evam khandesu santesu hoti sattoti sammuti. So, what do we call a car? Yeah, it's actually matter, isn't it? It's matter. There are tires, there's body, there's engine, there's electronics. I don't know what else. There are many, many more things, batteries and a lot of things. So, you go to a parts shop, the same elements are there. Do you see a car? No. So who made this? Who made this word car? It's a convention, fabrication, easily said as fabrication. Yeah, a fabrication. Okay. So any noun in the world is a fabrication. So anything, any noun, So and the Buddha says, he invites us. He says, okay, now take the car. Okay, the car is made up of its parts. And let's take apart then. Engine. Have you seen an engine? No. Any direct case noun is a misconception. It is made up of its own parts. Yeah? So, how many of you have enjoyed a milk tea? Milk tea, yeah? Milk tea, yeah? So you go to the kitchen to have a cup of tea, yeah? So how do you make a milk tea? You put sugar, hot water, tea bag, and then milk, whatever, and then you call it a milk tea. Who calls it a milk tea? It's a mistaken identity. It's a mistake. So there are no nouns in the world. Just get rid of all the nouns, including Leslie, okay? There are only verbs. Verbs. Yeah? The Buddha says, Rupatiti ko bhikkhave tasma rupanti vuchyati. We call rupa because it is in the process of this changing. Rupanaya, rupati. Right? The rupas, we don't ever find a rupa. It's a complete perverted, view. Rupa. Rupati iti ko bhikkhave tasma rupanti ujjati. There is now, a lot of Buddhists say that take the rupa, and the rupa is in the process of changing. That's the other way around. No, the Buddha says, because of this changing nature, something actually appears as an entity. Like the car. Like, any other noun. Okay? So, would you then be able to find anything, any substance in the world, even a pin drop, like a little? No. Okay? So this whole world can just actually be broken down into 4 elements, right? Right? 4 elements. Right? Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Okay? And a blind man really goes to an iceberg and he hits his leg against it. And he get the idea, perception, as this is Patavi, hard, right? And then after a little while, this ice melts. And he gets the idea that is the water. Yeah? And then after a while, what happens? It evaporates. Vayo. And then the sun, makes it hot. Tejo. So where was Patavi? Where was Apo, Tejo, Vayo? Yeah? And this is the very first sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Yeah? Very first sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Yeah? So the Buddha says, Pataving manyati, pataviya manyati, patavito manyati, patavim meti manyati, pataving abhinandati. Yeah? Asutava putujjano. This, idiot. Asutava putujjano. The Sutavachako Arya Savako, the Aryan, the noble disciples of the Buddha, Pataving Mamanyi, he doesn't take that to be real. Okay? So, and this, this is how the 4 elements operate. So anyway, so I'm actually trying to get you to, like, how do we slowly get to this, how do you navigate this journey? What do you have to do? So the Buddha says, through the Eightfold Noble Path. Eightfold Noble Path. Yeah? What is the first noble path? The first one in the 8? Right view. Right view. And the Buddha says right view is of 2 types. One is mundane, the other one is supramundane. Right? Lokya, Lokuttara. Okay? So the Lokya part is good for the world and for you to be a nice person, good person. And all religions share this. But the Buddhism doesn't stop there. Actually, Buddhism starts where the religions stop. Okay? That's the issue. So the right view is then the sammaditthi, sammaditthim paham bhikkhave dvayang vadami, 2. And he says, this is the worldly one and the supramundane. And the supramundane, he calls it Aryan, noble realization. Okay? So, a lot of people think for that to happen, you have to have the shilas. Sila. I mean, sila is absolutely, it's wonderful, it's really good. I mean, observe precepts and behave well. That's fantastic. But mind you, Angulimala did not have that, luxury. Yeah, a lot of other people didn't have. Santati didn't have that. Okay, a lot of people. So this journey is so interesting. So the Buddhist journey, you really have to get to that idea. So for that you need a friend. That is the problem. Okay, so. A lamp cannot light on its own, can it? No. Somebody has to light it. Okay? The same way, this is the preciousness, this is the rarity in the Dhamma. You really need to have a friend. And that friend is not an ordinary one. That friend is called Kalyana Mitra, noble friend who really paved the way, showed the way. Yeah? And without that support, it's not possible. And the Buddha, the real achievement of him was, without that support, he lit his own lamp. Self-lighting. I mean, that is conceivable. Right? He did it. And this is the Samma Sambuddha, the prerogative of a Buddha. So the Buddhas, this is why we have to really embrace it, grab it, yeah, before we breathe our last breath. Okay? So it's so precious. I'm sure I'm actually going over time. Anyway, any questions?
A lot of things.
Yeah.
In In a nutshell, in 3 sentences, can you just summarize what you just said?
Yes, when I did my Cornell PhD, the committee was over 5 professors. They said, can you summarize your thesis into 25 words? I said, I almost collapsed, you know. Yeah. So actually, I can do this. This is, you know, I don't need 3 sentences. Just actually, I was talking about just the word Buddh, waking up. And how do we know that we've woken up? The doubt is gone. No ritualistic performances. And the world disappears. Sadly, the world disappears for you. Okay, so if those 3 things have happened to you, you know, so you are in the realm of the Buddhas. Okay, so Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicca, Sīlabbata Paramas. Everything else is, you know, really, really ordinary. One deity came to the Buddha and said, you know, somebody has actually had a axe, you know, going through his head. Satyaviya o matto, dayamano, and somebody has actually set fire to the head, to that wound. Satyaviya o matto, dayamano amattake, kamaraga pahanaya sato bhikkhu paribhaje. So somebody should be actually striving to get rid of one's lust in this life in order to attain this supreme blissful state. And the Buddha said, forget it. Nonsense. He said, no. He actually rephrased it, Sakkaya Ditthi Pahanaya Sato Bhikkhu Paribhaje. You have to get rid of this personality view. This view that the world, I mean, we think there is a world to which we come, and even after leaving, the world exists. Your world disappears with your consciousness. Okay? You don't think this man is real. Let me touch him. He's not real. Yeah? So, within your 6th sense world, all these things exist. Yeah? Chasu loko samuppanno, the whole world springs into this 6. Chasu kubbati santava, associates with this 6. Channameva upadaya, having grasped this 6. Chasu loko vihanyati, the world gets tired, exhausted, in this 6. Yeah? So, personality view. There exists, there is. This view is the biggest problem. Yeah? Sorry. So, any other questions? Yes.
Like you said, personality view. But the 6 senses is always there.
Yeah.
How to, it's always there, how to stop it from using it?
Yes.
And then what is the process that you have to do it? That is the...
Yeah.
To realize, but how to realize it?
Okay.
Senses are all around.
Yeah. No, great. That's like, I get your point. Like, yes, 6, but this is what the Buddha says. The Buddha says, he himself was using all the 6 senses. When Ananda was there, he recognized him, Sariputta, and this is Mogha, all of this. So, nothing wrong with using them, But what is really wrong is believing them. Believing them as, you know, how many times we really realize that, we see something and we get attracted to that thing. And even after a little while, even after possessing it, that's not what you wanted. I'm not talking about your wife or husband, okay? So that's really not what. So it's this complete mirage, yeah, and complete, perverted view, sankhara, So the Buddha rejected all 62 religions in one word. Tadapi passa paccaya. That too is because of our, eye contact, the object and the contact, the two, just there. Yeah? So it's actually, unfortunately, we have to use these senses because this is what we have ordered. And actually, this question takes us to another interesting area. How do we really know that we have lived in the past? I can prove rebirth or re-becoming in one instance. Okay? How do you actually prove that you have been there before this? You had the previous birth. How do you prove that? You have to go to these other, the 200 cases for rebirth a professor has done? Yeah, no, you don't need that. If your 6 senses, you ordered your senses yourself. When you left that previous birth, you ordered it through Amazon, yeah? Can I have them? Because you wanted them. That's why we have got them. But sadly, some people have, impairments. Some people, are born blind, lose. So that's because of their karmic process. But luckily, exactly, yeah. So it was on the way, something has happened. So to prove reincarnation, rebirth, you really can. If you ordered your senses and that you got them on your own account, see some people, we never, none of us have the same level of seeing, perception, all of this, yeah? All of these are, different. So, this is what we have ordered. Karmang satte vibhajati yadidang hina. The Buddha says, it's karma which actually, because you are in the karmic realm. And this is the problem. The Buddha never wanted to keep you in the karma. He wanted to get you into dharma. From karmic cycle to dharmic cycle. The moment you actually get out of this view, you are no longer subject to karma. How do you get rid of your karma? You can actually get rid of your karma completely. Ahosi karma. And karma is not something you have to pay for. So this is the beauty of the Buddhist teaching. The Buddha said, now just imagine something really bad happened to you. And you say, oh, this is my karma. Okay? And you actually worry about it. What happens to you? All your bad karmas get connected to this. Like you are actually inviting more of the bad karmas. It's like two bank accounts, the debit account and the credit account. A lot of people actually draw from the debit account. This is why something bad happens to you and you keep complaining, and the more of the same things actually happen to you. So close down that debit account. You have a credit account. You have good karmas. Okay? This is the positive thinking. You know, when you actually have the positive thinking, you really close down that. So, whenever something bad happens to you, okay, great. Okay, I just sort of move on. You don't have to live in that. And see, karmang satte vibhajita. So the Buddha actually taught us to get, otherwise how come all these serial killers, rapists, and terrible people get enlightened? You know, I mean, this sasana is also for them, not just for these, beautiful people like you, you know. So, through the right view, you actually cancel out the karmic realm. You get into the dharmic realm, which is higher. Okay? So, anyway, I hope I didn't answer your question. 6 senses, use them. Great. But I know fully well what they are. Okay? And I don't believe them. Does that make sense?
Then what's next?
What's next?
Assuming you realize that this world is a mirage.
Yeah.
Then what is your next?
Oh, next step is?
Yeah,
Next step is, your attachment to things, just in the process of diminishing. You're not clinging to things. There is absolutely nothing in this world to cling to. If there is nothing in this, I mean, when you go to the Western world, for example, when I went to America, for example, I mean, the shopping was great experience, I even wanted to go window shopping, great. But then after a while, why is this? I mean, people actually put all this in the windows just to get you attracted. Now see, and then you understand all this advertising, everything, and you're no longer sort of a catalog shopper, looking through the catalog and order all of it. No. Okay? So your attachment, your aversion, your delusion, dissipate, diminishes. And so therefore, you're not subject to the same old. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Any question?
Doctor, can you please use a human being to describe non-self to us so that we can understand better? Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. That's a great question. That's a really good question. And this is the concept of atta. We think the atta is like, we are identifying ourselves with something. No, actually, the atthanuditting uhacha, the Buddha says, this idea of atta, the whole world is woven. Whole world is woven into this atta. Okay? Because, we have this everything set up, all the nouns in the world, right? So, atta. Now, the Buddha says, where is this atta in yourself, right? In your hair, in your this and that. They say, dissect them. Okay? And where is that atta? And this is the second sutta, after the Dhammacakkappavattana, Anatta Lakkana. Anatta Lakkana, the Rupang Attang. You know, so we thought this Rupa. So you go to the, you know, like the mirror and say, oh, this is me, right? A dog actually just, you know, goes to the water place, and then the dog sees another dog, okay, and then he gets really excited. Oh, where did he come from? You know, and he just wanted to chase him. Is he seeing another dog because he's looking, or because the dog really exists? Okay, so at least the dog thinks, you know, the dog thinks that there is another dog there. But we think it's ourselves that we are appearing on the mirror. Okay? This idea of me, you know, self is so ingrained within us. So therefore, you know, like I, where is the capital I? Because of the my things, you know, my body. Because of my body, I identify as an I. Okay? So it's like going to an English class. You know, the teacher says, describe yourself, myself. You know, and you start, I am so and so, and my name, my village, my. So my things collectively is created this idea of I. And the Buddha says, where is the I? You know, it's just like the car. In any direct case, if you find something, that you find it due to complete perverted view. Okay? So there are no nouns in the world. I mean, the famous professor, you know, Professor Karunaratne, W.S. So he said, get rid of all the nouns, you know. So, because there are processes. You know, processes. Now see, the reason why we have to pay the karmic way is because, you know, like I did something wrong like a year ago, and because it's me, my action. Okay? So I-me connection, you know, we perpetuate this. We carry this on, and that is our problem. You know, we are just in the process. Every 6 months, these cells are, you know, completely change. You know, but you know, we identify. Oh, this is me. Like I had a, you know, British colonel. He said, you know, I can't get my head around this. Can you explain this? Like, you know, and I said, in his office, there were pictures of his young children. And he said, I said, there was a very young baby, maybe 1 year old. I said, oh, who is that? Oh, that is my daughter. How old is he? Oh, she is actually about 20 now. Why are you keeping that picture then? and it is not the same. So even that daughter herself does not recognize that person. And if somebody shows your picture when you were 1 year old, would you actually recognize that? No. Come on, you know, not even 1 year. I mean, even, you know, a few years back. So you're not the same person. Yeah, not a different person. I mean, this whole process, these are these processes that are which make us believe that these entities exist in the world. But actually, no entity. Sakkaya Ditthi. Sorry, I think, we may be actually discussing till midnight. That would be great. Yeah, wouldn't it? Fantastic. You will all be enlightened by then. Okay. Sorry. Awaken. Why not? Why not? You at least you have kept yourself awake. So, yeah. Any other questions? Say that again. Wake up. What does wake up mean? What should you do to wake up? Hit yourself hard. Wake up, yeah? So, yeah, good question. Good question. Actually, find a Kalyana Mitra, good friend. These talks, these sessions are invaluable, and because, the Dharma teachers, and who you really do not know who the real Kalyana Mitra is. Something someday, yeah. Actually, until COVID times, I had serious doubts about the Buddhist teachings. To tell you the fact, I wasn't sure. The COVID, 2 years of COVID was such a blessing. So I hope another COVID comes on my way. So I was stuck at home, reading the sutras. Oh my God. And this was incredible. And then I started teaching a course at Amsterdam, the University of Amsterdam, how to read the sutras. Yeah? And it is an amazing experience. And the realization, the Buddha, somebody came to the Buddha called Hemaka. He said, these different teachers teach a lot of complicated religions, this and that and the other. I don't want to hear any of those. But tell me something very succinctly, in summary, how do I get enlightened? Like him. Great, thank you, great question. Like, how do you get enlightened? And the Buddha said, in one stanza, Anattani attamani passa lokang sadevakang nivitang nama rupasming idang sacchanti manyati. This whole world is convoluted power and stuck with this idea of atta. So just see through this and ask yourself, where is it? Yeah? And just then suddenly you realize, wow, the whole world disappears right in front of you. And no longer what's the chair? The chair is made up of its parts, and the parts are made up of its own parts, and the parts are nothing. There's absolutely nothing in the world. Just whole world disappears in a moment. Yeah? Probably it is time for me to make you disappear. Okay. Any other questions? No? No. This is what my advice. This is so amazing. My invitation: before you breathe the last breath, make a strong determination. This is very important. I tell people, make a strong determination. I won't leave this world without getting into this bloody Buddha. Yeah? And then something will happen. something will click in you if it hasn't happened yet. And it's just that realization, you know, and this whole Sakkaya Ditthi thing just got to, you know, be realized. Yeah? And then the second, third things, you know, continue to happen. And then you are not, you know, the Buddha says, Puttasa loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati. You know, you're not shaken by the same worldly vicissitudes, worldly things. You know, whether you gain or lose doesn't make a big difference. Yeah? Praise or blame, happiness or sorrow, you know, doesn't, you know, now, Puttasa loka, you know, these are actually tests. You can test yourself. In the sutta, there's something called a Chabbisodana Sutta. Buddha gives you a test kit. Sit down and check yourself through. You know, seriously, it is that clear. It is that simple. But we go round and round and round and round. You know, somebody gives you the keys to a house. You just take the key and put it in your pocket and then go around and around and around and around and around. You never open it. Oh, you don't have the key. Ask the key, you know. I think he's hiding all the key. Okay. So anyway, wonderful. Thank you for listening. And I really like the engaging part. I hate to give teachings, sermons but in very simple terms. The Buddha was a great communicator, and he just whoever came to him, in very simple terms, he said that, and somebody just clicked it right then and there. Somebody took a bit longer, but majority, really just clicked it, So, and this is so beautiful. It's an amazing thing. And you really do not, have to, meditation is great, but this is real meditation. So, this is actually constant meditation. Meditation is not something actually do you on the cushions and but it's actually this engaging, and this is Dhamma Vichaya, exploration of Dhamma. Yeah, it's so incredible path. Yeah, so never lose the interest in Dhamma. If you do, you lost. Okay? Thank you.
Almost 10 o'clock. I was just telling Doctor that we normally do an Anumodana, transfer of merits, but I guess we will forego that for tonight. Just that when at the start of the evening I told you this man is quite amazing. He's so erudite, he's got so much of knowledge, it's just oozing out of him constantly, and I think that we will have to keep you here a bit longer. He wants to go back end of the month, or rather he has to go back end of the month. The UK government has...
Come back.
Yeah.
Treat me better. I will come back.
She made you eat your own words.
Good, very good. Yes.
Okay, so this Sunday, Doctor is back, Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. His topic is the role of the Kalyana Mitra. He spoke about it earlier. So please do join us, 10 o'clock this coming Sunday, and be enlightened and entertained at the same time. I think, Doctor, you're quite funny in certain ways. But I think a lot of it is simple knowledge coming from a layperson's perspective. You're so used to the monk's presentation style. So here's somebody who's as good as a monk, but coming from a layperson. I think it's sticks better, whatever he says. So please do join us on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Thank you. Good night. There's some refreshments before you go back. Yeah? Sadhu. Sadhu.